live. My computer tells me we're live, so I'm going to trust it. Hi everybody from around the world. So today we have a really exciting muse. You know what? Let me switch to this. This is much better. I don't know why I started with the view of my iPad. So hi again. And today our muse, oh, check this out. I invited you, if you can, to save the muse on your device, whether you use an Android tablet or your phone, iOS or Android, whatever. Um, I decided to push the exposure on the original photo because while it was a great contrasty photo, it had a lot of dark spots that made it very difficult for us to read his eyes. So take a moment, maybe take a minute while I'm talking right now to try to do that, like play with the exposure on your tablet and see if you can push it. I actually pushed the exposure to 72 in order to get this. So try that if you can. Otherwise, you can leave it as is. I'm going to draw on the iPad today. As I'm preparing for our May drawing at home with France class, I've been drawing a lot on paper this week, and I just need a little bit of a break from that. For those of you who don't know, we are doing a class starting May 4th where we are going to draw every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You're going to have a new video coming out these 3 days out of the week, then the Saturday live. And those will basically encourage you to draw more and hone your skills. And it will be basically you drawing along with me with a video, whether you play it at 3 p.m. or at 3 a.m. or as I see here, Karen from Australia who has joined us 2:15, I believe, a.m. in Australia. That's amazing. So at whatever time of day you want to draw, you can do that. But you're going to have a new video every other day, and then our Saturday get together, which is still the same get together, which is free for everybody. So the class is exciting because it's gonna be pen, it's gonna be pencil. For those of you who have already joined the class, thank you. You've probably noticed that I've already put up my supplies. So you see what kind of pens we're going to be using, what kind of pencils we're going to be using, but we're also going to do a little bit of iPad every now and then. And that's what we're doing today. I have a different setup than usual. I have my camera right here, and my iPad is propped up a little bit because I truly believe in having an incline to draw on. The more vertical your surface is, the better, and the more horizontal, the more likely you're gonna be to distort. So we're trying to have that incline going. So guys, thank you for being here. I'm trying to keep up with all the flood of people. I have again so many continents. Okay, we can't have that many continents to begin with, but so many people from all over the world. This is so heartwarming knowing that we've been so socially isolated, and yet doing this every week. um, I think you'll agree when I say that this has been a much needed little event in our lives. I know I continue doing it because I think I need it as much as you do. So it pushes me to draw too. It pushes me to be more social. When you have to put on a little bit of mascara in the morning, it's not a bad thing, okay? Because otherwise I wouldn't. So yeah, that's the positive thing. So guys, if you want to replicate this experience on Monday, Wednesday, Friday for a whole month, the whole month of May, where most likely we're going to be at home anyway. You just join my class, Drawing at Home with France. The link is underneath this video. And if you want to snatch 2 more classes that I teach, whether you want to be a little better at Procreate, or you want to do cross hatching, or you want to focus on eyes or beards, you can grab any 3 of my classes these days. The offer ends, I believe, at the end of the month. And with the code France 40, which is France 40, let me check if I get it right. I think that's the case. Yeah, France 40, France 40. you get 40% off 3 classes. So I think this is time to hone our skills, right? This is as good for me as it is for you, really, trust me. So, hi, are you ready? Did you see this amazing photo that we have here of Saeed? This is going to be a challenge a little bit because we have teeth, okay? Where there's a smile, there are teeth. And also, something I know that you guys are not all crazy about, but Saeed is wearing glasses, so yeah, a bit of a challenge for me too here. Don't get me wrong. Okay, very cool. I have people from New Jersey here. Yay! Okay, and people from Pennsylvania. I don't know if Elijah is here. I have not seen. Maybe, but if I missed you coming in and saying hi, I apologize. Okay. And Karine, I'm sorry, but I'm going to highlight your message because I totally agree. And yeah, ladies, maybe you will relate. I certainly do. It's definitely that kind of freedom that I appreciate. Thank you, Karine, for the wisdom. Okay, let's get to work. Are you ready? So I've got my iPad in front of me. As I told you, I have it a little bit at an incline, and that incline allows me to not distort too much. I'm going to switch it on, and I'm in my Just Portraits folder, which is where I put mostly the portraits that I do that are 3/4 or frontal. They're just portraits. Why don't we select a vertical? Yeah, vertical, why not? Okay, vertical canvas. By the way, for those of you who have an iPad, you can just pinch to snap it into place, and that's a really cool little thing to know. Am I gonna? Oh, Jenny, good question. I'm gonna bring this up. Jenny is asking, are you going to use a toned background? I wasn't planning on it, to tell you the truth, at all. I'm just gonna use the original. Take a look. Background color, plain white. I'm going with white. Feel free if you are using an iPad too. If you want maybe to push it to maybe a light gray. And also feel free if you are comfortable to draw in color. And those of you who don't want to draw on the iPad or don't have an iPad, just draw on paper. The idea here really is to draw, right? It's just to spend that hour just showing up and drawing, right? So uh, that's the idea. So Jenny, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do because I'm doing a white background, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bigger. I know that if I tap with 4 fingers, I can make all my controls disappear on the screen. Did you know this also on the iPad? You tap with 4 and they come back. Okay, tap with 4 again once and they leave. So boom, iPad view. What I'm gonna do now is get rid of the photo of Saeed that was on the screen. I'm going to leave the one that's on the iPad. I hope that's okay like this. I'm even going to make my little image smaller now because I think I'm kind of in the way. How about this? This is better maybe? Okay, so now you can see Saeed to my left. You can see the blank canvas to my right. Oh my gosh, you just keep coming in. It's just a beautiful thing, Marcel. Hey, okay. Mhm. All right, here we go. So, let me see. I'm getting a text message, and sometimes I need to. Oh, okay, guys. I want to post an invite on Instagram real quick to remind people that we're drawing live. So I am going to do a quick shot. How about this? Can I do a quick shot of this? Ta-da! Okay, I'm gonna post this on Instagram, live drawing now, and boom. I need to find the link to the. Oh, I hope I still have it. No, I do not. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm posting this on Instagram as I'm talking to you. Where can I find the link? I'm gonna go to YouTube. Okay, go to Sketchy. This is how I find the links to my own lives, guys. Sketchy. Okay, there it is. All right, share and copy and putting it on Instagram right now. Live drawing now. Boom. Okay, done. Um, I had to do this. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start. So again, tapping four fingers to bring the all the tools, right? So you know, I'm a big fan of using chalk. I'm a big fan of using the Elder Sketcherman, which is a very similar brush. Here's what I love about the Elder Sketcherman. It goes really, really broad. So I have a preference for this one. Feel free to use chalk if you want. The Elder Sketcherman is what I'm going to go with. And I'm just going to go in black. And let's see how broad this is. Well, we'll see. I am going to lower the opacity a little bit so I have a maybe a paler line than just black. And then boom. Oh, you know what? I think Dollar Shaw is having a little issue. Split my screen to work. Okay, okay. Dollar, let's take a look. Okay, I'm gonna take this step by step with you for 1 second. Okay, for those of you who have an iPad, right? You swipe up from the bottom, you bring the dock. In your dock, you should have your Procreate app. You take it, you slide it slowly, and then boom, by default, it's gonna go 50-50 on your screen. And then after that, you can slide it back and forth to make it maybe 75-25 or 25-75. I like a 50-50 because on the big iPad, it still gives me a pretty good amount of real estate. I hope this worked, Dollar, because I don't want you to not be able to split your screen on your iPad. Okay? All right, all right, all right. Okay. Bon, Sketchman with texture or no texture? Henri, that's a good question. The one that I have here is called Elder Sketchman P4.1. Can you see? I hope you can see it well. With texture, though, I think is a good idea because it gives you a little bit of grain. So Henri, I would go with that. But the Sketcherman I'm using is the Elder Sketcherman. It's not exactly Sketcherman. Okay. And Nikira, I have an iPad mini as well, and it works exactly the same way. So you call the dock. In your dock, you should already have your Procreate, and whoop, you slide it slowly but surely to the right. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So, you know how I started drawing with very broad strokes. This is really the way I've been doing it. Drawing on the iPad has really taught me a thing or two about building a drawing, and I love the fact that I can do that. Look, I'm making some very, I mean, I'm making messes here, obviously, but I can come back and delete later. But these stroke kind of give me a starting point. There's Saeed's hair. Okay. Did you notice that Saeed's face is not exactly straight? We have a little bit of a slant. So let's take that into consideration by maybe making a faint line in the middle, which we will get rid of eventually, but I want to keep track of the fact that everything will follow this. So his eyes, for instance, will be right about here. Nose, eyebrows. Do you see those gorgeous eyebrows? I'm envious. Little bit of a mustache here. I mean, not just a little bit, real mustache. And this is where the teeth and so forth is going to be. So right now, this is what I'm seeing, and his face is not exactly frontal. It's turned like this a little bit, so we have to take that into account. Sue, you have a good question. Does the Elder Sketcherman come with Procreate? No, it does not. But Henri is almost answering this question. Georg is the person who makes these brushes. I bought a pack of them for $15. It was the best, well, one of the best $15 I've ever spent because you get hundreds of brushes. I have not even started going through 50% of them. So again, on Sketchy Art School after this, I will post the link for you to go and check out Georg's brushes. You don't have to buy the whole pack. You can just buy pencil brushes or pen brushes. I decided to buy them all because I always think, you know what, I'm going to need them. So, okay. All right. So, Nikira, it looks as though it's working. Yay. Okay, very good. Awesome. All right. So, Susan, the name of our muse is Saeed, Saeed. Saeed, and then I believe the last name was P. It was only two letters. That's what I remember seeing on Sketchy. All right, Jan, I am so happy to see you here. Jan, my elementary school friend. Tu as de l'or dans les doigts. That is too kind. Stop. Arrête. C'est pas vrai. C'est juste de la pratique. It's only practice, right? Okay, so guys, I'm going in a little bit darker now with the opacity, but not entirely dark. One thing I notice when I draw with my iPad rather than with a pen or a pencil is, first of all, I'm a lot bolder and faster. I really like that feeling of just moving a little faster. That's also what motivated me to draw on the iPad today with you guys, because over the past couple of live draws, I have not finished the drawing I was doing, and I feel bad about that because you guys sign up to draw along, and then I leave it unfinished almost every time. Okay, let's say that Saeed's glasses are like this, like that. Keep in mind what I said at the beginning, that his head is turned this way a little bit, so the frame of the glasses is going to stick out on this side here, but not on this side. See, it ends here. Okay, let's see if I'm getting this right. Am I getting my proportions right? Let's hope. I have a confession to make. I actually really absolutely love drawing glasses. Love drawing glasses. There's something very soothing and reassuring about the symmetry that I find in them, even though I've always said that things that are too symmetrical can be boring, but no, it's a nice little addition to a face. What am I doing here? I'm making this one a little longer than this one, so how can I fix that? Okay, maybe like this. That's what happens when I talk too much while drawing. So what do you think, guys? I know some of you have already signed up for my May class, and I'm really super excited that that you just choose to maybe trust me to, to show you a few things about drawing. That's it's a huge, huge ego boost for me. But also the fact that 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 drawing 3-4 times a week is going to be good for you. Oh, by the way, I did not set my eraser to the same brush. Okay, here we go. This is better. All right. So this class that we have going on in May is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, drawing together. They are going to be pre-recorded videos, and you can watch them basically whenever you want on that Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. If you want to just make time on Tuesday, all that stuff is really up to you. But this will really keep you occupied, there's no doubt about it. Bringing back a little bit of eraser here. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm a big believer in practice rather than saying that we have a God-given talent. I think at the end of the day, all the things I do is because I spent, you know, a lot of hours on this, and those hours sometimes you have the motivation to put them in, and sometimes you need a little push. And for us to be inside like this at home, this is a great opportunity to be pushed to draw. So I hope that class is going to do that. Okay. And yes, it is lifetime access. So basically, if you get the class, you can use it for as long as you want. If you want to get back to it, or if you don't want to do it right away, it's up to you. So yeah, absolutely. Just like all my classes on Procreate. And by the way, classes on Procreate. Did I just say on Procreate? Just like all my classes on Sketchy, whether it's a class on Procreate or any other class that I teach, you can absolutely access those classes anytime, anytime you want. I'm making my brush a little too wide, and I'm realizing that that makes me make goofy things and say goofy things too. Love drawing glasses. Okay. I'm trying to um, keep track of what you guys are asking, and I apologize if sometimes I don't see your comment. So you might have sometimes to repeat your comment. Okay, Jackie, for instance, am I still on the same layer? Yes. You will see that I'm going to do all this in one layer. That's that's my approach to Procreate. I treat Procreate very much like a piece of paper. So that's what I like doing. I keep it very, very simple. Okay. Okay. What did I use? Oh no, this is great. What did I use before Procreate? I used to use Paper by 53. It's now called Paper by WeTransfer, and it's an app that I think in 2012 got App of the Year, and I absolutely love it. So Jackie, check it out. Paper by WeTransfer. It's excellent. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. So now I pushed my opacity all the way up. Did you notice? And I'm kind of like juggling back and forth between a wider stroke and a thinner stroke. I really like the wider stroke because it makes things go faster, right? Um, but frankly, anything goes. And if you think that it's messy right now, don't worry. We are on Procreate. I am at least, which means that I'm absolutely not worried about having to clean up later, or maybe even leave the mess of the sketchiness, which is one of the things I love about drawing, is leaving some of the construction lines. I like that. Okay. It's not looking like Saeed at all right now because I have not even approached his eyes. But remember that line that I drew in the middle? That really helps me set where his nostrils are going to be. Boom, boom. There we go. All right. I'm going to bring in more details with a thinner stroke later. I'm still in the domain of broad strokes right now, just to build things. I'm not quite going into the eyes. I will. Just want to establish where the boundaries of his face are. Okay, something like this here. And the ear. Okay. I don't like the line that I made here. It's a little too dark, so I'm going to take away some of this darkness by lowering the opacity on my eraser and also making it somewhat thin. There. And again, it's a little bit messy on the edges here, but maybe we'll clean up later. Can you hear me okay, by the way? Yeah? Okay. And yes, absolutely. You don't dirty your drawing on Procreate, right? Okay. Nikira, that's great. I'm so glad that you actually went with the Adonit. It's a great tool. You're gonna love drawing with it. Absolutely. Okay. Do you go for precision or let some things go? Cindy, that's a very good question. At first, I try to loosen up and go, yeah, like as loosely as I can. But as the drawing gets more and more in focus, then you will see I'm going to be a little more fussy about some details, but that comes a little later in the drawing. Yeah. Okay, how are we doing in time? We're about 25 minutes in, 26 minutes in. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay. Ute, I love the fact that you're doing this with dip pen and ink. Wow, that is brave. I love that. And he already has quite a few stains on his face. Hey, okay, that's all right. That's all right. We like those kinds of accidents. They're great. Okay, so let me pull back on the opacity a little bit. Okay, again, these lines are going to get blended as I bring in more and more, values into his face. It's funny that even by pushing the brightness, the exposure, sorry, I was looking for my vocabulary here, the exposure to the max, we still have a great amount of contrast in Said's face. It's pretty cool. Okay, this is where the corner of his mouth are going to be. Let me go broad here for this mustache because I want to fill in dark. It's fairly dark here too, so. Okay, we have some dark here as well. So here, low opacity, low, I'm at 77% opacity. This allows me to make marks where the darker values of the face are. Kind of gives me a few shortcuts. And the mouth, it's gonna be tough to convey those teeth. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not looking forward to this, but it's part of the challenge. I think it could be a lot of fun. Okay. Teeth, guys, are negative space, right? So I want to be able to clean up every mark that I have in here so that everything is fairly white for these teeth to show. And when we get there, I'll show you how I convey teeth so that they don't look atrocious, because man, the line between atrocity and normalcy is quickly crossed with teeth, right? Okay. Marianne, go to the App Store in OS, iOS, donc l'App Store en France, et le logiciel Procreate est dedans. Et je crois que c'est 5 ou 6 euros ou quelque chose comme ça. Voilà. Ok. Okay. Oh, Michelle, foot surgery yesterday. Oh my goodness. Art equals healing. Yes, indeed. Oh my. Okay. And yeah, did you notice? Did you see how much I love drawing faster? The Procreate, the broad strokes, being able to keep one tool in your hand, this Apple Pencil, and juggling between you know, wide and thin saves a lot of time. There's no doubt about it. Love it. Okay, where am I going next? There's gonna be the bottom lip, kind of ending maybe right about here, and there's a little soul patch going on. There, right? And I believe his chin is going to be right about here. Okay. Funny that I do the chin before I attach it to the rest of the face, but it happens sometimes. Okay, remember my thing about making a broad stroke and then lowering the opacity? This allows me to fill in, for example, where the beard, well, it's not a beard, but it's a, you know, stubble. This allows me to cover ground fairly quickly and save time a little later. And the fact that there's a grainy texture to my to my brush, to this Elder Sketchman, kind of helps with the texture of this day-old beard, right? This stubble, this shadow. I think that's great. And chalk is very good for that too, guys. Okay, I have not even touched the right side of Saeed's face, so let's get to it, shall we? Let's push the opacity, the hair, it's fabulous hair, shiny, looking great. Lots going on with the hair here. Let me push the brightness on my iPad. Can you still see okay? I know when the brightness is up a little bit, it's not the greatest thing on camera, so I might have to lower it a little bit later. But for now, I'm just gonna make it work this way. I'm not sure I like this thing I did here earlier. What was that? Okay. Something like that. I don't know how many of you are drawing on the iPad as well. Okay, Kimberly, I am using, because you just came in, Cynthia, you're using the 6B pencil, which is great. I am using I'm going to show it to you right now, the Elder Sketchman by Georg. It's an amazing brush, but if you don't have that, don't worry. You can just go and use your chalk, which I believe sits under calligraphy. I save them into a favorite folder because these are all the brushes that I use all the time. I juggle between 3 or 4 basically at all time. Okay, let me keep going here. Yeah, the opacity is almost to the max. Edge of his face. Trying to stay loose here on my Apple Pencil, you know, not gripping it too tightly and staying relaxed. There's a lot of foreshortening on this, on the side of his glasses there. I really like that, but this is a line that's a little too thick. Okay, here we go. I do a lot of my Procreate drawings while on the phone in the evening. It's one of the most relaxing things. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling here. Funny how one little detail can really slow you down, but that's okay. Sideburn. Okay, let's see where this ear is. Okay, right about taking a shortcut here with Saeed's hair for a minute. I'll get back to it. But right now, this is how I see it. And this is maybe a good time for me to remind you that we're not worrying about resemblance. We're really worrying about how can we translate, volume and light and things like that. Okay, Ulysse, the question may have been asked, on which screen do you draw? This is a 12.9. This is a fairly big. This is what I call the gargantuan iPad Pro. I love it because it allows you to have quite a bit of space on both sides. Okay, so Jackie, I'm doing black and white. Some of you might want to do color, but I'm definitely sticking to black and white myself. And again, I'll be very happy if this looks very much like Saeed, but I'll also be happy if I've conveyed something that seems like a human face. I'll be happy with that. A human face with volume, that's my goal. Okay. Color. And the color here, something like this. Sometimes I have to make it very small so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Get the big picture, as we say, right? Okay. All right, so we have an X suddenly. Okay, how does one get out of that mindset trying to draw someone exactly? That's my issue with faces. Um, that's a very good question. I think we are all tempted to make, the resemblance as true as possible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not totally disregarding the fact that Saeed needs to look like Saeed, but I try not to let that goal stress me out. What I want to convey is shapes. And then if those shapes at the end of my drawing end up being like the person, if it all adds up to being like the person, then I think it's great. And sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, there are times where it just doesn't. It's okay. Because I think that when it doesn't, and then you blame yourself or you feel bad, then I think this all contributes to uh, not drawing much after, like feeling bad and then having a bad experience. And that's really what we want to avoid when drawing. Because if drawing leaves you with a bitter taste in your mouth after drawing, then you're not going to get back to it, right? Whereas if you treat it more like, okay, I'm going to learn something with this. I'm not sure what, but I'm going to learn something. And not beat yourself up if you don't quite get it right. Yeah, I think you're on the right path. So that's why not sweating the resemblance is truly crucial to me. Because that way you don't run the risk of leaving that bitter taste of, I didn't do it right, I failed. No, you didn't fail. You drew. Okay, you drew, and something came out of it that wasn't really what you expected. Fine. Next one will be better or not. The idea is not to let these episodes discourage you from getting better and getting better and getting better. That's all there is to it. Okay, so there's a lot going on in Saeed's hair, which I'm going to block with one color right now, but then I'm going to come back with the eraser and bring in some highlights, you know, like this here too. Makes it fun. There's a big highlight here. I love how Procreate has really taught me to use the eraser not just to erase, but as a tool of its own, you know, just to really. Maybe I went a little too much. Okay, here we go. A tool to draw with. Okay. Not crazy about this stroke here. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, let's leave the hair as is for now. And hey guys, what do you say about drawing Saeed's eyes? Because we haven't done it yet. Okay, alrighty. And then we try to get rid of some spamming here in the comments. No need. Okay. Hi, hi. Oh my goodness. Okay, good, good. I'm getting a lot of comments, and that's great. And I apologize if I don't respond to all of them, because trying to finish would be kind of my goal today. Okay, and I know that if some of you have the answer to some of the questions that pop up, that would be super helpful. Okay, so as we said earlier, there's not what we can call properly a beard, but there's a stubble, so you can convey that with a little bit of, you know, light strokes like this. Could be an interesting thing to do. Gives the illusion of texture of facial hair. And then by using the same kind of width with the eraser, you can come back and add more of this inside. You'll see it, you can really achieve. Let me make this much bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Coming back with the eraser. Let me push the opacity, there we go. And just adding a little bit of that texture inside there. A little bit. See, suddenly we have facial hair. Okay. Okay, Cynthia, you know what? If you think the glasses are gonna make the eyes look horrible, well, let's give it a try anyway. You know, I'm gonna leave this aside for now and actually tackle those eyes if you're okay with this. Okay, all right. So use the glasses that you drew to basically to place your eyes, right? So for instance, here, I'm gonna make the eyelid right about here. Okay. And then the eye itself here. And this is why I pushed the exposure quite a bit on this particular original photo, because I could not see his eyes. They were just non-existent, you know, like the pupil inside the eye couldn't see it for the life of me. So by doing this, I'm bringing back what I couldn't see originally. Okay, and look inside his eye. There's a little bit of a reflection in there, so I'm going to add it without making it too cartoony, but just, you know, signaling life. Something I love about drawing glasses is leaving this little line, and then maybe even, you know, making that a little more dramatic, because the lens itself usually is thick. I mean, there are different types of thicknesses, but that lens has to show. It really adds to the realism of things. All right. So keep in mind that we are doing this throughout the month of May. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, drawing together. You can sign up for drawing at home with France, and you're going to make this a habit, you know. Yay. Oh, lots of comments that I'm really not seeing as they come, and I really, really appreciate you guys taking over, answering the comments. That helps me a lot, so thank you. Okay, under the eye. Something like this, lowering the opacity so that I can play with values a little bit. I don't know about you, but what grabs me about a photo usually is the contrast, but also, you know, like a great smile like this. Wow. That can really be a great motivation to draw. It definitely is for me. Okay, so things are fairly dark inside Saeed's eye. Okay, and also all around there's not much light. Bringing in some eyelashes here for realism. Can you still hear me okay? I heard that I have a tendency to speak a little softer as I get into a drawing. So call me out on it, okay, if I do, because I don't realize I do that. Okay. So here again, you know, like look at how thick the lens is. I'm going to come back with the eraser to bring a little more contrast here. Okay, eraser, thin but 100% opacity is allowing me to do this. And eraser again, this time thicker with less opacity. And now I can come back and take away some of the dark that I brought in. Okay. And now bringing a little bit of texture inside. Boom. Okay, back to low opacity. Because even in low opacity, you can come back and bring layer upon layer of dark. Okay, so we've got one eye. I'm not a fan of how wide I made his iris. Okay, let me see. this could work. We'll see. This big line here is really silly, so I'm gonna get rid of it now. Get rid of this big thing in the middle of his face because we're gonna need that highlight here on his nose. How's everybody doing? Okay? Yeah. I appreciate you saying this because it's true that there's so many young um, women on Sketchy as models, and I prefer drawing men. I always have. I mean, I also enjoy drawing women. Don't get me wrong, but I find so much more interest in facial hair, beards, wrinkles. Yeah, babies are tough. Babies are tough. Okay, let's go into this other eye, shall we? Okay. So we've got some value here on top. We're going to bring back some dark into his eyebrow. Such a great face. So did you see, guys, that you can sign up for every class I teach, any class I teach, you grab 3 of them these days and you can get 40% off those 3. And then you get to work and you have fun. And one of them can be this brand new class that we have going on online for May, which will get you to draw on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 hour of drawing with me, and it's a great exercise in practice, discipline, all the things that have kind of pushed me to do what I do now. Just spending a lot of time on it. So with the code France40, France40, you can actually get 40% off 3 of my classes these days. And join us for May. This is basically this, but 3 times a week on top of what we're doing right now. And it's going to be varied. It's going to have a lot of different faces, styles, pen, pencil. I'm going to do some Procreate too. But the fact that I do things in Procreate does not force you to do things in Procreate. Keep that in mind, that you can always draw what I draw on a different platform, whether it's traditional or a different kind of tablet. It's up to you. So our new class is called Drawing at Home with France. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys are having like comments that I don't always respond to, and I'm sorry that I don't see them all. Okay, the other eye. Let me see if I'm doing this right. It's gonna be here. Yeah? Does that seem right? Something like that. Okay, I'm going to push the opacity now and get some nice dark values for this eye. Lower the opacity again to get into this. The eyelid here is barely showing. Let me check my messages here. I'm getting messages. Okay. Okay, good, good, good. I don't know how many of you are parents, but I know that with kids, it's not always easy to be so disciplined as to, you know, keep this drawing habit. But I think um, the class that we're going to have in May is going to sit you down 3 times a week and, you know, kind of puts puts you at the page, and it's going to make you draw. So that's the idea. Okay. Oh, Ute, I am so sorry. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm also so happy that you actually have taken so many classes already. So hopefully there will be more in the very near future, and you know, there are many possibilities. It can be something else than faces. My gosh, I can't believe that again. I talked so much that I'm sitting here and I have not covered what I wanted to cover. So I'm going to speed things up a little bit, okay? Shall we? You ready? Okay. Talk a little less and produce drawing, because otherwise I will again leave you with an unfinished drawing, and I can't do that again. Okay. All right. Is everybody doing okay? We have not even done the mouth, and I want to do it within the next few minutes, okay? So let's go. Oh, I'm in the eraser. What am I doing? Let's go. Let's push the opacity here. Okay, remember there's a mustache. I have not even gotten into the details of the nose. My gosh, what have we been doing? Talking? Yes, I have. Trying to speed things up here, because you're going to leave this live drawing with yet again an unfinished piece by me. And I don't know about you, but I very rarely come back and finish things that I did not finish to begin with. Very, very rarely. Okay. Okay, so here's the deal. When you draw teeth, you're going to end up wanting to draw the lines separating the teeth. Don't do that. Just try to define where that middle line is, where the two front teeth are meeting. Okay. I'm drawing underneath. I'm drawing the dark underneath the teeth. and trying to make teeth as realistic as possible. And just draw this for now. Bear with me, okay? Bear with me. This is the front one. Don't like what I did here. Let me redo this. Okay. Front one. Okay. By just suggesting teeth like this, already you have a much better chance of making things look more realistic. Okay, so right now they're a little empty, they're a little white, I would say, but we're going to add a little bit of detail at the top. Again, the opacity is not all the way up, but my brush is very thin. And now bringing in the gum, you know, like where gums meet teeth here. Okay, and here. Also, whenever we draw teeth, everybody, keep in mind that teeth are very rarely super white. So what we do, hold on, let me try to color his lips the way that I think they should be. Okay. And now lowering the opacity even more, I am going to come in and try to unwhiten the sides. Whoops. See, by making the sides a little darker, you know, where the teeth sort of go inside the mouth on either side, you're making teeth look a lot more realistic. There, okay? And even the front ones are not super, super white. That's what makes teeth look realistic, is the fact that they're not just like this row of yeah, something that can really look very ridiculous very quickly. So here, coming back, adding a little bit of darkness here at the bottom of his upper lip. And now you see what I just did? I've got a smile, okay, and I did not draw the line between each tooth, because this is what really is possibly the worst thing that you can do to a smile. But we're just suggesting things, you know. Again, if I had more time, I would go more into detail. Have you ever drawn something on Procreate and wonder, I wonder how I would do this on paper, you know? I know I do that a lot, and vice versa. I apologize for the sniffles. Okay, so now my goal is to finish. And it's gonna go a little faster. Okay, pushing the opacity back to almost black now. So much fun. Does it look like Saeed? I hope. Maybe the eyes are not quite 100% the way I would have hoped to do. I did not touch the forehead, did you notice? I'm just leaving the forehead very much alone. Filling in maybe a little bit of information here and there. Okay. But otherwise leaving things very sketchy. Um, okay, where else? Where else do I need information? Here. By talking a little less, I'm actually getting more things done on the face. So I hope it's okay that I'm getting a little bit quiet on you. Did you guys do okay with Saeed's teeth? You see how we tackled this challenge? Okay, I'm gonna go broad again and low in opacity for the rest of Saeed's facial hair here at the bottom. Even lower in opacity. There you go. Okay, that's the one. And here too. See now I'm in a sort of a light gray, which I love. Which is also here, by the way. The shadow cast by Saeed's hair. Remember that? It's here. Okay, a little bit here too. Okay, we're gonna finish this. Oh, this is a little dark, so my eraser is going to allow me to bring some lines. See what I'm doing here? It's a little dramatic, but don't worry. Then we can come back and add the same kind with the pencil. Here we go, like this. Okay, I am going to finish in, within the next 5 minutes. Okay. Because the hour is pretty much up. I did not even touch the neck. I did not even touch the neck. Oh my goodness. And yet doing, addressing neck adds a depth to a drawing too. Okay, well, I could have done more than that. But limited in time. Okay, yeah. And now just putting some finishing touches to the facial hair. Okay, I do this so that I can rest my hand on the screen. Okay. So what do you say, guys? Do you want to do this with me 3 times a week? If you do, you can grab this new class called Drawing at Home with France. And this new class is basically building a habit by drawing along with me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And same thing, an hour long, sometimes more. I've already, done some that are much actually longer than just an hour. But it kind of pushes you to show up and draw and continue that practice, and then do the Saturday night, the Saturday live, the Saturday afternoon live with me on top of it. So go to the link below to join my Drawing with France uh, group and also drawing at home with France class, you get 40% off 3 classes this month. What if I leave it at this? Okay, let me just do one last thing. I can't help it. Okay, do this. Okay. There's so much more that I want to do. The reflection of the glass here and take out some of this. Okay, I'm gonna stop here, even though I'm not quite happy about how light some areas that I wanted to see a little darker. I can see them as being a little too light. See here, for instance, here. Are you with me on this? Even here. It's funny when you back up and you see things that you didn't see originally. That's wild. All right, everybody. I know I have to go. I know. And one little detail that I should not completely neglect. Did you notice that Saeed has the side of the glass here? Let me show you what I'm doing last. You know, the arm. Kind of little detail that you can't quite neglect. Okay, all right. Everybody, we should say goodbye very soon. Done. Okay. All right. So, everyone, thank you for coming. And I'm going to see you again next week. I'll be here again next week. My May class starts May 4th, and we are basically doing this 3 times a week on top of our Saturday live session. Thank you, Cynthia, for actually digging in, to Procreate and treating it like what it is to me, which is uh, a really convenient piece of paper, because that's what it is for me. Okay, so take a look. I am going to now make the drawing the entire space, and by lowering the brightness, you can actually see better what I did. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right, guys. Everybody, post this. I'm gonna go and post this on Sketchy Art School right now. And I want to see what you did too, especially those of you who did this on Procreate. I'm curious to see, what brush you use. Like, try to say that in your post. I hope this looks like Saïd. And take care of yourself. Yann, prends bien soin de toi aussi. Prenez soin de vous, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, as I'm trying to, despite the inevitable trip to the supermarket, which I dread. Okay, everyone. Yeah, wash your hands. Okay, I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week. Look at all the signups that you have underneath this video if you want to join my class or classes. The new one starts March 4th. Okay, merci tout le monde. I'll see you very soon. I'm going to say bye from here, okay? All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, I have over 850 people watching. This is great. I had no idea. Okay, let's post. Let's go to Sketchy Art School, Drawing with France group. It's free to join. Post your work, okay? Ciao, ciao. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Besos, abrazos. Ciao, okay?